In certain circumstances, creditors can agree that you no longer have to pay your debt, and it's called a debt write-off. I don't want you to get your hopes up too much because a debt write-off is normally in extreme circumstances. You have to be able to prove that you can't afford to pay any of the debt off, or you might be a vulnerable person with health issues who can't pay. How do you go about getting your debt written off? You need to write a letter or make a call to the creditor. But it isn't just a simple case of asking. You have to prove and justify why it should be written off. If it's due to medical reasons, it's best to get copies of any paperwork that can back your case up. If it's down to finances, I'd be inclined to make copies of bank statements to show how unaffordable the debt is to pay back. It'd be worth stating your income and listing your outgoings to back up your point. If you're fortunate enough to get the debt written off, the bad news is that it doesn't disappear off your credit file. It'll be classed as unpaid and it'll be on your record for 6 years. It's worth trying to rebuild your credit score by making sure that you don't default on any payments. You could also try a credit building credit card. Use it to pay all of your day-to-day purchases and make sure that you pay it off monthly. There's another debt write-off option called statute barred. This is if your debt's sold and you haven't had any contact with your creditors or made any payments over 6 years. What this means is that legal action can't be taken to make you pay the debt, but technically it isn't written off and it'll still remain on your credit file. If you don't think you'll be able to get your debt written off by any of these means and you're struggling financially, you might want to look at debt solutions that are available to you. There are pros and cons to most of them, so it's best to educate yourself so that you find the option that works for you. You'll also need to fit the criteria for a few. I'll quickly explain them now. So debt management plans are an informal agreement that you make with the creditors to pay back your debts at a lower and more affordable rate. Normally that means paying less each month, but over a longer time frame. Next, there's debt relief orders. They freeze your debt payments for a full year, and then if your situation hasn't changed after 12 months and the debt's written off. So you make no payments towards a debt in 12 months and interest isn't added. Another option is offering a final settlement. So if you happen to have access to a large lump sum, you can offer that to the debt collectors or the creditors that they work for. It might not be the full amount that you owe, but sometimes they'll be willing to write off the remaining debt because you'll be saving them the time from chasing you down for payments every month. Individual voluntary arrangements are another way to deal with debt. It's a formal agreement between you and your creditors to reduce your payments to one simple payment each month. It lasts for 5 years, and then at the end, any remaining debt's written off. Bankruptcy has some obvious downsides, mainly that some of your belongings may be sold to pay for your debt, and your credit score will become very low. But after a year, any remaining debt will be written off. Below this video, I've linked to a form on my new website, and it's got a few multiple choice questions like how much debt do you owe and how many people do you owe. At the end of the form, it'll connect you to a company that I've partnered with to provide you with all the information you need about debt solutions that are available. So click the link below the video, go and check it out and let me know how you get on.